Good morning, and I hope you've been well, and this is part 102 of the Pokemon Rejuvenation V13.5 Let's Play, set mode, no items, so yeah. Anyways, let's get on with today's episode. These guys, evildoers, my bastion, however you say that, won't crumble. Darn, this lady doesn't give up. We haven't been able to hit her at all. Hey, using a shield is totally cheating. Cheating? You child, prepare to learn justice. We need to break that shield or else we're going to get nowhere. Let's do an all-out attack and smash it. Then Reina and Hugh will attack. Even if it just slows her down a little, we'll win. Go. For a moment. You guys are really being so mean. Well, that didn't work out. I like how we're all just like stuck on a tree. That backfired. Okay, so I think I broke a bone. What do we do now? There's nothing to be done. Be brave and reap what you've sown. Stop. Hazuki, don't hurt them. Lady Anju, I told you to wait on the ship. It's not safe out here. I couldn't help myself, and besides, if I haven't, you would have sliced my friend into a million pieces. Friend? But... Ooh, interesting. Okay, so... This is all new. Alright, sorry for the pause there. We're back. Had to take my dog outside. But anyways, you there. What business do you have falling out of the sky like that? Nice get up, Tinker Tot. Interesting name. What have you got brewing for me today? You didn't answer my question. Answer or face justice. You of all people lack the understanding of true justice. Just as corrupt as the people before and after you. That's interesting. Just as, like, you and the other people, whatever he said. I'm gonna keep that in mind for now. Not bad, Tinker Tot. I'll have my subordinates take care of you next. I have a prince to deliver in another time. Have my subordinate... Oh, us. Gotcha. We've been thrown here wherever this is by the same guy. That same guy, sorry. We are definitely not friends. Nope, nuh-uh. Lady Anju, forgive me. I will atone for my sins with my life. Enough of the dramatics, Hazuki. You are not beneath me, and it's them you need to apologize to. I apologize. I did not mean to harm anyone innocent. It's fine. Just... No, it's fine. Whatever. But can someone explain where we are right now? I will say, while I've like talked about it before, like there's some things that like the developers like Jane Zumi, etc., have like taken away that I wish wasn't removed or watered down with the dialogue and whatnot. I do love the overall additions and changes with the story, and I really do like how they added that scene where you again kind of go up against Hazuki, because like on the older versions like V12 and backwards, you never really had a scene like that. And also having that conversation with Surfer Dude is what I'll call him for now so I don't spoil his name on accident. It was really interesting to like hear that from him. Like again, like you of all people like don't know true justice, and him going on about, you know, whatchamacallit, like the different like timeline stuff, like from a different time I have to take him here, my subordinates will take care of you, and then the whole thing about him saying, you know, from the people before and after. It's interesting to think about, honestly, with that guy in particular. But anyways, we'll leave it at that for now. We're in the past. How is that possible? How do we get back home? I suppose you could have returned the same way Alon did last time, but the way to Kyugirin City is closed off due to the rock slides. In fact, the region has been quite unstable as of late, and for that reason Our Lady Nimra has summoned both Hazuki and I. If anyone could get you four back home, it's her. Okay, so where's this Nimra chick? She's not just some chick, she is our lady. She resides in Hiyoshi City, just north of here. I've decided then, let's bring our new friends to Our Lady. It's not far, and in these times, we could use a shoulder to lean on, sorry. Very well. Single file line, a line to the front. Ah yeah, conga line, everyone. Conga party. Oh, so we're literally having a... Oh, that's cool. Okay. So like I mentioned before, this was never really like a thing on the older version, so... It's pretty goofy. I like it. Alright, conga line. Let's get everyone back home. Grab that. Not really useful, but... we could still use it outside of battle if need be. Oh, what? Oh, it's a cutscene. Whoa, what's with that earthquake? They've been quite frequent as of late, it seems. We don't know the cause, but we suspect it's the I cannot speak today. Catastrophic event Alon and their friends mentioned last time they were here. Nimra probably sensed something as well. So there's the one manor. This is the Altar Manor. What's left of it anyways? There's no use going here. It's empty, abandoned, and just so sad. The last time I couldn't hold it in and I just started crying. Interesting. These earthquakes are getting out of control. Let's see. Well, there was two different ways. There was up and down. So let me save. What does going down do? I assume where the rock slides happen? Yeah, here we go. About Face Alon, this way is too dangerous. This path usually connects back to Route 3 and Q Girin, but as you can see, it's not serving its intended duty at the moment. God save Route 3. What are we gonna do? The road was blocked by the rock slide. I'm starting to get really worried for this region. Well, this is interesting. Lady Anju, perhaps it's best if you just return back home to your estate. And for what purpose? I was summoned here by Nimra. It's just that it's gotten so dangerous recently, I'm worried. I know Nimra assigned you to my safety, but I'm quite capable of handling myself, thank you. Sorry, bub. We're not moving until we get orders from the captain. So I guess like little dialogue scenes there then. Oops. Was there anything else that I missed before we continue? Doesn't look like it. I doubt it, but okay. I wanted to see if there might have been like an item or something there. Okay. Let's get on over here, because I assume we'll have another scene coming up. And that we do. Anju and Hazuki, I see you finally made it to Hiyoshi. Canon, you were transported here too. I'm very sorry, but are we acquainted? Canon, you don't recognize Alon or me? Apologies, but I'm sure this is the first time we've met. This is Nimra's assistant Canon, her servant, but yes. I wanted to greet Nimra's guests as they arrived, but it seems we have more than we anticipated. I will go and let Nimra know about this development. Poor Hugh. It's gonna be alright, Hugh. Maybe he has amnesia or something. But I'm sure that was him. That being said, we've reached Hiyoshi City. Let us disperse from this group and make our way in. Now real quick. Since the Congo line has ended, yes, you can go into the manor. Okay. I know this is for a quest down the line, but I do want to like check it out though. I really like how they decided to like redo the manor, honestly. It looks really nice. I like it. Alrighty. So there's that there. Okay, that's blocked off. I know what I'm doing isn't necessary, but sometimes Jane or Zumi or any of the developers will add something hidden, so I just wanted to look around. Alright, sorry for the pause there. We're back now, but yeah, just wanted to backtrack just in case. Okay. Welcome to Hiyoshi City. Welcome to Hiyoshi City. Why, thank you, officers. Well, this looks certainly different. Welcome to Hiyoshi City, everyone, capital of Avium region. Huh, so this is Hiyoshi City, huh? It's quite nice. So where is this Nimra chick again? I told you she's not just some chick. Please follow us. We'll be heading north and then due west. Don't lag behind. I got bad news. We're gonna lag behind, because I like to explore. We're preparing something for everyone. You should come back later. What is going on with these earthquakes? I'm starting to become very scared. I will say again, like, I like how they redid it, honestly. It looks really nice and, like, touched up and whatnot. Have you visited Rejuvenation Co. up on Hiyoshi Pass? It's a really impressive building. We got some really weird snow here the other day. It's fairly warm here this time of the year, so snow seems really, yeah. And then I assume... Okay, so it's kinda different. Okay. Hey, hey. You notice how there aren't any trainers on Route 5? That's because people don't want to get slammed with rocks from Mount Valor. Right, and also keep in mind, I don't know if it'll show on the map. Yeah, it's not going to show it. This is, again, pre-Calamity, before the Calamity happened. So, like, the entire Avium region is all in, like, one piece, and not multiple pieces because of Storm 9, just so people are aware of that. If anyone got confused about the whole Mount Valor comment that he made. Things are getting a bit crazy around here, thinking about taking the next ferry to Hoenn. I came to the city for a week because of work, but now I guess I'm here until they clear the roads. Alrighty. The trip to Kikuren to Hiyoshi is a lengthy one. Maybe we should get some sort of shuttle going. Right, so that's gonna stay locked. I think that's, right. Thinking about purchasing a ticket for Sinnoh, things are getting a little hectic. Too hectic for me. So we have a little shop here. Nothing I really need, honestly. I mean, Magna Rise isn't terrible, but just nothing I really use. I like to buy it, but it's not giving me the option to buy, ma'am. Business isn't how it used to be. Where's all the people? Yes. Oh, we already have 50 of them. I would advise, real quick, please grab a bunch of these. If you have the funds to do so, they're going to be pretty helpful for you. Oh, we can start buying Ultra Balls now. Might be a mistake, but I don't really care right now. Let's get 100 of you. Why not? Let's get 50 of you. Okay. I heard there's going to be an announcement later at the Hiyoshi Central Square. Mayor Raphael, however you say that name, has something he's been working on for 10 years. Oh, that guy. Right, okay. What should I buy? What should I buy? Something. You should buy something. We're setting up the festival in this area of the city. Okay, so that's still there. It's really interesting. I like how the briefcase is still there. I'm very sorry, but Mayor Raphael, however you say that, isn't accepting any visitors today. He's getting ready for his presentation later today. Be sure to check out the Central Square soon. Oh, whoops. I didn't mean to walk back in there. Okay. The festival is going to start soon. I cannot wait. I was supposed to go on a tour of the Rejuvenation Corp building with my boyfriend, but he is late. If he doesn't show up soon, I'm just going to give away my ticket. Real quick. What is the point of that? Weird. There's nothing there, though. Okay. Sorry, I'm confused about that. Like, why add the tree there if... I don't know. We're closing off this part of the town so that we can get ready for the festival. Came here from the Reborn region and was very pleased to find out that this place is very similar. Crystal clear water, dense forest, it's incredible. Right, so this... Well, that's kind of interesting. So, like... This is... Within, like, the timeline... That means, like, we came before this, then. Well, let me stop there, just in case some people don't know about Pokemon Reborn. I don't want to, like, spoil that game. Fun fact, I think I said it before. Pokemon Reborn is my favorite fan-made game. Rejuvenation is second. Pokemon Desolation is my third. I should get up and use the PC to bring out that new Pokemon I caught, but I'm lazy. I wonder if they ever caught that rogue doctor. Dr. Isaiah did horrible things to people and refused to pay the price for it. They still haven't found him, so I'm worried about the people of Hiyoshi. A rock fell on my leg during the rock slide. Now I have to get a cast. I assume... Yeah, I can't really talk to you. Welcome. Excuse me. Welcome to the Hiyoshi Hospital. If you need any medical attention, we're here for you. Thank you for that. I know Hazuki's there, but let me... I'm pretty sure we did most of this area. And I know I probably didn't need to like look and read everything, but... Oh. Is there like a rare Pokemon here or something? Not really. I know I already have one of these guys. Yeah, not really. Wonder what that was for. Oh, no, I get it. Yeah. There's Yeah, in the future, when we go back to our timeline, I believe there's like a key over here. Right. I think that's what that's kind of like showing there. Probably. Please follow me through this building. Nemra's apartment is just through here. Who's my whittle Fuerion? You are. Who wants to explore the past with you? You do. You're such a dork, you know that? In the best way, though. I can't help it that my Flareon is just so cute. I do appreciate your love of Pokemon, Hugh. It's nice to know that there are children out there who still truly love their Pokemon. After all, battling is only one part of a Pokemon. But Hazuki, please proceed. Nemra's house is kept hidden for reasons that are confidential. However, just because you don't know about something doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Everyone, please follow me over to this corner. Return. This wall looks and feels like a regular wall, but if you push with a little bit of force and... Let's go, everyone. I'm sure Nemra's awaiting our arrival. Let me save here. So that's interesting. So they never really changed her place then. Okay, so it's still the same as like the older versions for the most part. Yeah, from what I could tell. So, is Nemra here? She should be. Hazuki, could you fetch her for us? That won't be necessary, Lady Anju. It seems she is on her way now. Okay, so her sprite is still pretty much the same. I was just curious if they might have like redone it or something. Ah, company, I'm so happy. Welcome. Nemra, it's good to see you again. Good to see that both of you are here and doing well. I have completed my task. Lady Anju has been safely escorted from Crystalline to Hiyoshi. Thank you very much, Hazuki. You may go see your date now. It's not a date. I am simply speaking to someone Zuki, you're gonna be late. Yes, I shall be on my way. Now for my precious guest, what can I do for all of you today? Gotta say I'm digging the apartment. I know, it's kind of a mess. I'm messy by nature, but alas, what is a broke artist to do? I have too many projects to finish. It's fine, I'm sort of a self-imposed vagabond anyway. Now real quick, I enjoy learning. Vagabond. Or bond. Vagabond can refer to a person who wanders a manga series, a diner, theater, a sandwich shop, or watch collector. Oh, so like it's like a term like going from like place to place and like switching up, like 1 minute I'm over here and then I'm over there and doing that, and they can't really like sit in like one spot. Gotcha. So a person who doesn't have a permanent home or job and travels from place. Yeah, okay, I got it. This is my primary place of residency, but it wouldn't be unheard of to catch me and say, Hoenn, Johto, oh, Sinnoh, that's my favorite. Visiting ruins and seeing old culture makes me happy. It makes me feel nostalgic. Ruins make you feel nostalgic. That's a first. Anyway, we're sort of in a predicament, a problem that expands across time, I guess. We were thrown into this time without any way of returning. You wouldn't happen to know a way back, would you? You were forcibly, however you say that, thrown into this time. It's something... I can't read today. If something like that were to happen, It's because time itself requires you to be here. That's just the way it goes, so it seems. So, you're not gonna help us? It's not that I won't help you, but if you all just continued your lives here, eventually a way back will be presented to you. Do you understand? So we just gotta be patient then. That's very correct. That kind of blows. Maybe there's some investigation that can be done. Canon, could you please come here for a moment? How did you do that? Just appear out of nowhere like that? That was so cool. Master Nimra summoned me, that's all there is to it. What can I do for you, Master? Oh, Master? What's going on here? I am Nimra's humble servant. My sole purpose in life is to serve her. After all, that is why I was born. You were born to serve? That's kinda harsh. It's a lost cause. I keep telling him that he doesn't serve me, but he won't listen. That's why I was created in the first place. All I know is to serve. This must sound very weird without context, but technically speaking, Canon isn't exactly a human being. I am an artificial being created by the use of Garufan magic. I am what you would call a servant. However, I am a special case. I was created with a personality in mind, and therefore, I came out different. How am I supposed to reply to something like that? Or this? A reply won't be necessary. I was simply explaining my origin. Nimra, an interesting tidbit, but it seems that Hugh here knows me from the time he is from. Does that mean anything to you? It's nothing we should try and warp our heads around now. As for why I called you here, you would like me to find a place to send these people back to their home, correct? You're always one step ahead of me, Canon. That's exactly it. I shall search for an alternate passage through time, though I must say that this task is definitely one on the more difficult side. I know I read that all wrong, sorry. I must ask that you forgive me. It may take some time to accomplish. Of course, thank you, Canon. I bid you all farewell. Like Canon said, there's going to be a bit of time before anything turns up, if anything does at all. You are all welcome to rest here until the time comes. Oh my gosh, thank goodness, I was ready to pass out. I guess we all could use a bit of rest. Nimra, about the subject I wanted to speak. It's about Vivian, isn't it? I already know. Understood. In that case, I shall take a stroll through the city. Okay, I'll be here as usual. Please, make yourself at home. Now before we do that, I'm pretty sure you can talk to Angie out here. This place has a wonderful merchandise. I'm having them custom make an amulet for me. Oh, that's cool. I wonder if it's the same one that we have now. Let me see. Where was it again? This one. Maybe. I'm waiting for someone to show up. Maybe he will soon. Cool, cool. Okay, so I guess we'll go back to the... Well, real quick. Okay. Now, hold up, I am curious about something. Huh. Okay then. Not what I was looking for, but that's also interesting. Probably should have like paused, honestly, but that's okay. Okay, not yet. Alright, sorry about that. Huh, I feel like I've seen that symbol somewhere before, like in one of my old novels or something. Still, it's kind of spooky to look at. The symbol, these are the keys from the Reborn region, aren't they? Nastasia gave me a whole crash course about that place. Maybe one day I'll get to go there. You know, it would have been kind of like a neat thing to actually like see. Like Ren and Reborn in one of like the post-game things, but I understand why he wouldn't be there. I get it. These pictures are kind of weird, aren't they? They kind of look like they tell a story, but I'm not so sure how. Oh, I should have talked to Nimra. I forgot that this kind of like started the cutscene. Alright, sorry for the pause there. We're back now. It's very relaxing to just sit at home and paint your troubles away. All of us have something we want to run away from, but sometimes that something is just too fast. Our past comes to catch us all eventually. It's an interesting phrase there. These pictures are kind of weird, aren't they? They kind of look like they tell a story, but I'm not sure how. Oh, those pictures. It seems that way because it does tell a story, a bit of a long one. Oh, could you tell us about it? I'm really curious. Oh, I suppose it can be done. You seem reluctant. It's okay if you don't wanna. No, it's okay. It's a story that should be told. It's not exactly a happy story, but it's history. Would you like to hear it? It's a little long, but I believe we have time. Let's do it. Okay, let's begin. This is the story of how the world came into being. Now, real quick for new players that may be watching this series, maybe not only for like advice with like the battles and whatnot, but want to like understand the story. This is one of those bits that I would recommend you really pay attention to on your own playthrough of the game. So, just a fair warning. This is the story of how the world came into being, a tale that tells the base of all life, good and evil. In the beginning of time, there was a single deity, a being so powerful and great that light itself would bend at its presence. That being was a kind and benevolent, or violent. I can't speak, I'm sorry. I suck at pronouncing words, but you get what that means. Spirit. But it was also very lonely. It wished for companions to love, creatures that would flourish under its light, because it demanded it. A woman and a man were born into the world. The deity thought of the man and the woman as its own children. Proud of its creation, it bestowed the gift of intelligence. Alongside intelligence, they were given free will. Everyone loved one another. The man and the woman married and lived their lives under the powerful deity's protection. Life was a paradise. Together, the man and the woman would build a family and lead the way for the rest of humanity to prosper. After this deity created humanity, it wished to bring new life, which it would stand equally to humans hand in hand. Using its powerful light, it created new beings. They were all different shapes, sizes, colors. They were perfect. The deity named them Pokemon. Pokemon had wondrous abilities. Some could shoot fire, some could control things with their minds, some could generate water, some could even create imaginary worlds and illusions. It's a funny little hint there. Their god's creations soon flooded their gates. From the north and the west, the south and the east, all were welcomed. All were precious beings that were given life. That's how the woman saw them. But the man, no, he thought differently. We don't need Pokemon. Humans are the superior beings. Why allow Pokemon to wield such power, but us humans cannot? Why do you put us below Pokemon? You've made a mistake, Father. The deity would not succumb to the man's anger. Pokemon and people are one and the same, equal beings that both roam the earth in unity. The man rejected this notion and decided to leave the woman and the deity forever. The woman tried to persuade the man to stay, but he wouldn't budge. His stance was unshaken. He would not allow his former god to ruin what he thought he had. Not long after, tragedy struck. Out of nowhere, a meteor struck the deity, splitting the being into three. The meteor dragged one fragment far away. The second fragment was mortally wounded. It could not hold its form for long. It eventually disintegrated and fell apart. As for the final one, the last fragment took a new name. It is what we know today as Arceus. Although it survived the impact, it was greatly weakened. Arceus agonized over the thought of the future dangers that may befall his children. Therefore, Arceus made a decision. Arceus told the woman, "I cannot stay the way I am much longer, but I shall grant upon you a gift, an object that will act as the conduit between life and my power, an object that will bend the world to its owner's bidding. Take it and store it away. Until then, await my reawakening. I leave the world in the hands of you all, my beloved children. I shall be waiting." And thus Arceus formed itself into an object we call the archetype. It was the embodiment of Arceus's love, a physical manifestation. The man and woman knew I cannot speak today. If its existence was found out, it would only create chaos. Both of them took the archetype and sealed it away. They promised they would not use the archetype for their own selfish desires, and it rested peacefully, awaiting the day that Arceus would return to its people once again. Though the two created their pact, it was broken soon after. The man grew lustful for the archetype's power. He stormed the woman's castle. He demanded that the woman surrender. The woman refused and locked into combat with the man. This feud began the first Pokemon War. When other regions gained knowledge of the archetype, they joined as well. The one war became 2, 2 became 4, 4 became 8. And before long, the entirety of the world had become nothing but pain and suffering. The woman, now queen, and her son, now a knight, fought for the safety of all beings. All who entered the castle fell to the knight's hand, but even then, the effect of the war pressed down deeply on the woman's heart. Countless lives lost for nothing more than the lust for power. The war was at a standstill. At this rate, the entirety of the world would soon become nothing. Tired and determined, the woman took matters into her own hands. She decided that she had enough. The woman made her way to her castle with the past behind her. She could no longer look back. The deaths of her family and her friends pushed forward. Her resolve was all that she needed to make the final move. She took the archetype and gave her wish, "Bring this war to an end, give us the power we need to stop this." Her words echoed through the sky, and finally the archetype responded with an empty glow. The archetype did something the woman did not expect. It had seemed as though her wish backfired. Suddenly, the humans began to evolve. They became stronger, more intelligent. Pokemon fell in power, and humanity began to overwhelm them. The woman and her son were pushed back into their castle. Her son fought valiantly, but he succumbed to his wounds in battle and perished. The man presented his sword to the woman in mockery. The woman had given up. Hope was lost. Her beloved god had betrayed her. Her husband turned on her. Her only child was killed in battle. As she surrendered, a bright flash of light enveloped the sky. A man named AZ from a far-off region had fired the ultimate weapon. Its purpose was to destroy all sides of the war, and that it did. The blast was so strong that it pierced the sky and flew into space. The blast then rebounded and made its way back to Earth. In the light of that confusion, the woman pulled back her bow and shot one final arrow. And the blast from the ultimate weapon ended it all. So, it's a really interesting story, and I don't know why, like, I almost want to, like, break it apart and, like, get into, like, heavy spoilers on it, but I don't know if I should. I mean, I guess it doesn't hurt if we do, like, a spoiler warning. Just kind of, like, you know, like, dissecting it and whatnot. Yeah, why not? Let's do it. Let's do it. Alright, sorry for the pause there. We're here now. I want to give one final warning real quick. We're about to get into heavy spoiler territory. I kind of want to like dissect it and really just talk about my thoughts and feelings with all of that and with some of the things that I do know about the game. So again, heavy spoilers and rants ahead. If you don't want to listen, do not listen any further. Go to the comment section below and go to the timestamps and skip it if you wish to do so. You have been warned. Yeah. Okay. Story how everything came to be. All life, good and evil. In the beginning of time, there was a single deity. Now, keep this in mind. With everything that we know about Varaya, her goals are still somewhat known, but also unknown at the same time. You know what the story with Old Earth, and it's interesting because like within this story, this is with Rejuvenation, not Old Earth, right? It's interesting that Varaya created the story to be similar to what happened to her in her timeline, the original timeline of Old Earth before, you know, her and the other nations, you know, formed together to go after Arceus so they can develop and, you know, do experiments with the souls and Pokemon and people and yada yada yada. It's interesting that it is somewhat similar in a sense, but again, this is Rejuvenation, a game that she created by pretty much outplaying almost everybody within her old timeline with the archetype that she had possession of, her own experiments, and banding, you know, 18 volunteers, and, you know, getting this going. So I just want to like separate the two. While there are similarities, keep in mind that this is a separate story than the original Old Earth story. They're not the same. In the beginning of time, there was a single deity. Now, real quick, what's also interesting is when they mention good and evil, and it's something that, you know, again, just like with life itself, and as I always refer to Bob Ross, one of his many famous quotes, you know, light and dark, dark and light, you know, they have to be together. It has to. You have to have both. Good, bad, bad and good, dark and light. You need both. So within her story, she's created two people, right? Indrid, Nimra, Life, Death, Yveltal, Xerneas. You need both. Now, of course, you need something with balance, Zygarde, but as you know, the host for Zygarde died before she can get things going since her base and whatnot got stormed into. and you had Adrest that was meant to be the replacement, but he didn't make it in time. So that is why right now there isn't balance. It can shift to light and shift to dark. If Zygarde was in her game, things would have been, 100% the way that she intended to, but it didn't work out that way. And again, without somebody to balance the two, it can shift into light and dark. And that is why there's this whole situation that we have going on now, where Varie's like, oh man, we need something, an interceptor. If something went wrong, we can call upon this guy or this girl, whoever is the interceptor. And they could just be like, alright, we're gonna doom this or are we gonna save it? It's up to the mercy of us. We could choose what we want to do. So, yeah, anyways, in the beginning of time, there was a single deity. So again, similar to Old Earth, it's the same story here, but it just has differences, right? A being so powerful and great that light itself would bend at its presence. I can just skip some of this. Flourish under its light. Okay, so again, you have Nimra, on one side. You have Indred on the other. Man, woman, Indred. Nimra, Yveltal. Sorry, that's like our Xerneas. So, yeah. Part of its creation. Now again, similar to Old Earth, it's the same thing here, but it's not actually... I mean, it probably is actually Arceus because of like the archetype and whatnot, but, well, yes and no, because like the archetype is what's creating like the story, or like I guess like fueling the story, I guess, kinda. That's a tricky thing though, because it's like, you have the whole thing where I would assume the archetype with like the host and whatnot is like helping out Varia, the AI supercomputer thing, create this whole elaborate game and whatnot. But then you also have like an archetype within like the storyline because of, Maria, Anitha, that whole thing. So it's like, I don't know, that's kind of like a confusing thing for people. I would say separate the two. That the original archetype is probably what's giving power to Varia and this whole, game of rejuvenation that she's created. But within that story, she's able to, again, create any story that she wants. So she's like, okay, the archetype was a cool thing, so the archetype's going to be in the story, because why not? Anyways, everyone loved one another, everything was peaceful, everything was good, similar, again, to Varia's old timeline with the other, original nations of Old Earth. Everything was good and happy and yada yada yada. So the deity wanted to make new life. Then came Pokemon. Now I like that little line there. Some could control their minds, but especially this one here. Some could even create imaginary worlds and illusions. So I think that's a little hint at like Clear, by the way, if I had to guess. Probably. But anyways, within Rejuvenation, the deity there decided to make not only humans, but Pokemon. And again, similar to Old Earth, there was humans and Pokemon, so she's keeping in mind that we're going to keep both. Humans, Pokemon, tomato, so yeah. It's also an interesting idea. I know it's kind of like obvious, but like think about it in this direction too. Varia with Pokemon Rejuvenation. Let's say like Old Earth was like absolutely doomed. There was no saving it. By creating Rejuvenation, she's able to like experiment and see all that she wants, because she can mess around with any soul, any Pokemon, any person, and change up things and do things and backtrack things and yada yada yada, all she wants. There's no stopping her with, what she wants to do. Old Earth limit her because everything was dying, but with this world, she could pretty much do anything she wants. That's another interesting thing to keep in mind with Varia. Their god's creation soon flooded their gates, pretty much came everywhere. The woman loved them, but the man did not like it at all. We don't need Pokemon humans or the superior beings. Now, again, this isn't Nimra saying this, it's Vitus, Indred, talking about this. Now, here's the thing that gets confusing with Indred. 1 minute, Indred's like, I'm doing this for God. But within this timeline, he's almost resentful to God in a sense, right? Because like he doesn't like Pokemon, he hates Pokemon, but yet he's sacrificing people and whatnot. Not saying that he hasn't sacrificed Pokemon. I mean, he probably has to get some of the powers that he has with Garufin magic and whatnot. Now, of course, like Garufin magic is, a thing with, like the Garufins and probably the other nations, like doing like experiments and whatnot, but they're calling it, Garufin magic within Rejuvenation stories. So, yeah. So pretty much like he's getting mad. He feels that Pokemon are much more better than us, and it's not fair. The man rejected this. Pretty much said, screw you, wife, I'm out of here. Right, so Meteor hit the deity. Now, again, this is all predetermined, predestined. Viraya made it that this was going to happen. Bad things were going to happen. Now, again, with the original storyline of Old Earth, Arceus died because pretty much the entire Earth went against him. But in this timeline, she's created a story that a meteor stopped everything. Now, there is like a whole like theory thing about like the meteor and Pokemon Reborn. I don't really know if it's like confirmed or not, if like the two actually like connect. I'm on the side that while it makes sense, I don't think it was ever intended for that meteor to be the same one for Reborn. I don't think they... I mean, like, I get that there's connections because of the whole, like, Flora side quest with the post-game. That I get, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, and if I'm wrong, it's fine. But I don't necessarily think it's the same meteor. I think they're meant to be, like, two different stories, but just something I wanted to point out there. But anyways, the DD got hit. One of them got dragged away. The second fragment was mortally wounded and could not hold its form for much longer, so it got away. Now, I know there's that whole thing with address and whatnot, but I won't get into that right now. We'll just kind of keep it simple. Took a new name known as Arceus. And then pretty much had a funeral for the archetype as it reverted to save its power and whatnot. There's a lot of like worry and whatnot. Then await my reawakening. Now again, similar to Old Earth, the archetype is still, a thing, so they sealed it away, they agreed to it, but of course, shortly after, it did not work out. The man really wanted it. And then, of course, 1, 2, 4, 8, everybody learned about it. And again, it's almost reenacting what happened on Old Earth. That 1 learned about it, 4, 8, yada yada yada. A ton of people learn that there's this really powerful object, and they all want it. Because like after Old Earth happened, after the archetype happened, they defeated Arceus, things were going good, but then it flipped upside down because they were like, oh hey good, we won, yada yada yada. Oh wait, what, resources are dwindling, or Pokemon are dying, I'm dying, crap. And then of course like other nations are like, wait a minute, you, Viraya, what is that glowy object over there? Nothing. And then they find out what she's actually doing. They want the archetype, and similar stories, but they're two different events. So then, now what's interesting is the whole night thing. You don't really know too much about the night, honestly. Now, I know like there are like theories. I think there was a theory with like the night being Madame X, but again, it's been stated before, of course, with the one scene within the Doom timeline where Madame X outright is like, I am a woman. I'm not a man, I'm a woman. When, like Mosley was like joking around about like the Power Ranger thing and whatnot. Or I think like after the Valerie battle, I forget exactly when that occurred. But of course, I mean, it's kind of obvious that she is a woman, but if players did not know that, then yep, she is a lady, she is a woman. But with this one, they say he, as the knight is a man. So I don't think the knight would be Madam X. Unless it's some weird, I don't know, like reincarnation thing. Which would be a really interesting twist. I mean, maybe, because it's like, the whole groove and magic thing, like, it's a complex thing. Because it's like similar to like, you know, like Maria and then Malia, that whole thing. Which is still like unknown. But let's stick to something that we do know. Vivian turned to Talia and then turned to Alita because of the Garufan curse. It's not impossible for, let's say, the knight died and then, oh hey, Madam X is here. And just, you know, the soul got recycled and reincarnated into what we know as Madam X today. Maybe. I'm not sure on that, but it honestly is an interesting idea to think about, though. I don't know. But anyways, fell to the knight's hand. Would be nothing soon. She got tired, she decided she had enough. The woman made her way to the castle with the past behind her. She could no longer look back. The deaths of her family and her friends pushed forward. Her resolve was all that she needed to make the final move. She took the archetype and gave her wish. Bring this war to an end. Give us the power we need to stop this. Her words echoed through the sky, and finally the archetype responded with an empty glow. And the archetype did something the woman did not expect. It seemed as though her wish backfired. Suddenly the humans began to evolve. They became stronger, more intelligent. Pokemon fell into power, and humanity began to overwhelm them. Now, again, keep in mind, similar to characters like Karen that are able to use Garufan magic. Now, what's interesting is like, I mean, like you have characters like Clear and Kieran, Madam X that is really strong, Karen that has like the abilities and whatnot. It's interesting that despite those characters, you would think that there'd be more that can do stuff like that, but there really isn't. But I guess to be fair, you know, this was like the first war that happened. But then things that happened afterwards, I mean, yeah, I guess like with time, like a lot of those kind of people could have like just, well, I guess like even like during like the war, most of them probably like died out anyways, and there's like very few left. So yeah, I guess like that answers that. The woman and her son were pushed back into the castle. Her son fought valiantly, but he succumbed to his wounds in battle and perished. Presented his sword to the man in mockery. Hope was lost. Her beloved god had betrayed her. Now, it's something that's been mentioned before within this game, right? By, I think, Anju, where... Was it Anju? No, sorry, Vivian. Where she said, you know, we're in a world that God has abandoned us. So it's kind of similar here. Now, again, it's all predestined by Viraya. And the funny thing about that is, again, Nimra and Vitus, they both know that. They both know they're part of the system. They were one of the 18... you know, well, sorry, 2 of the 18 volunteers to be a part of the archetype, because like I've had this theory for the longest time, and I think Jane almost like confirmed that on the Jane and Zumi live stream where she did that one event for the fundraiser for her hopefully it's not like insulting to say this, but I'm gonna call it a parade. There's a specific like long name that I'm gonna butcher if I try pronouncing it, but she did that whole thing. There's like a Q&A. I'm pretty sure he like validated that whole thing during that stream, so I'm glad that I was like right on the mark with, you know, the 18 hosts representing the different like legends, well, legendary Pokemon. So that was really cool to see. But I guess like the one thing, again, like I mentioned before, the one thing I was wrong about with the whole Zygarde thing, I thought Address was Zygarde, but he said the Zygarde host was the one that perished and died. Address was gonna be the next one to take that spot, but it didn't work out. But in my theory, I thought originally he was address, and because of the one disappearing, that's because of him getting deleted from the system because he knew too much, he found out too much, which I was like a little bit like disappointed because I was like, oh, that fits so well, but it wasn't exactly that though. But regardless, it's interesting that again, like they know about this, but you know, again, they're coded in this story of Rejuvenation that they have to follow her rules, Her Majesty's, you know, story from start to finish. It's all predetermined. They have to do this. So it's really interesting to think about it from that angle too. I was killed in the battle, and then flash of light happened. AZ was like, hey yo, I ain't doing this no more. I'm done with it. Take this. And then everything just blew up pretty much, and everything, you know, came to an end. Really interesting to like dissect and like think about all of that. So yeah, I know those are really lengthy topic there, but I really wanted to at least like do that for the Pokemon War, just to like I guess like give like some people like an insight on my thoughts and feelings on that. So yeah, maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong about certain things that I said, but it was fun to talk about and theorize. But we'll stop there. Alright, just a heads up, we are out of spoiler territory. Holy crap, I'm getting chills. That was an awesome story, Nimra. Yes, it is truly something. The event described in those paintings, did it happen to be the Great Pokemon War? Yes, I'm very impressed by your knowledge, Reina. Although the first Pokemon War was mentioned, I never mentioned the overall event it grew into. Did you paint this? It looks like your style. Yep. One lonely afternoon turned into a bunch of paintings. That seems to happen a lot around here. Stop doing that. Forgive me, I find too much joy in your screams of terror. That's so mean. Canon, have you found anything? Please forgive my incompetence, Lady Nimra. I was unable to complete my mission due to interference. Interference? It's quite embarrassing, but a certain individual seems certainly fond of me. At every turn, there they were to stop me in my tracks. And of course, I don't exactly have a way of defending myself. That is troubling. In that case, please take this Salamence. He is a dear friend. He shall protect you. Now, just to clarify this, keep in mind that Kyogre, you know, this timeline happens before, because like some people can get confused by the whole timeline stuff. This isn't really like spoiler stuff, but let me just like do this real quick. To anyone that's confused with the timeline, just like myself, let me explain what I can understand. This event here happens before you, Malia, and Venom go to Kyogre City. This is before all of that. And that is how Canon is able to get his hands on Salamence. And then the story plays on. And then once you get to that point, you know how he has Salamence, he battles you within the restaurant. And then, you know, the lady in the mask, you know, was like, hey yo, your Salamence is dead. But you get to come back to life. Sorry. Salamence is in the recycle bin, he's gone, he's in oblivion, yada yada, can't save him, you're good, and then continues on. So just in case the people were curious about that, that's my explanation on that whole thing there. Anyways, I am honored, Lady Nimra. I will guard this beast with my life. In that case, I shall be off once more. Wait, Canon, could you give us some info on this shady person? Yeah, maybe we can help in some way. That way, you wouldn't even need protection. I appreciate the sentiment. The fellow was very particular. He had tech I've never seen before. It looked like he was levitating on some piece of metal. Wait, when Reina and I were attacked by that guy, he was on a weird surfboard thing. So it could be that same guy from Alamissa. This happened on Route 5, but I doubt they are still there. They've been tailing me for a while. I'm certain they've relocated. If meeting him is your desire, perhaps I can act as bait. I don't like that you're using yourself as bait, but I know I can't stop you, so please do so with caution. As you wish, my lady. I shall be waiting at the central square. Alright everyone, we're moving out. Let's catch this blank. I assume... Yep, you're right there. Oops. Okay. I think with that said and done, I think that'll be it for today's episode since we're like an hour and 5 minutes, so yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. Love you guys. Take care of yourselves out there. And good morning.